Okay, today is Friday, April 11th, and I figured I'd better get some of this on video before I remove any more of it. This is the stairwell in the back room at the back of the house, and I have been slowly removing parts of it. It was a rather heavy build-out. This part of it was a closet, and you can kind of see it had a diagonal floor that had some shelves on it, and that created a diagonal ceiling underneath to provide a minimal headroom for coming up the stairs. And then, of course, this closet backed up. Let me see. This closet had a door here, and the back of this closet backed up to this other closet, and that's the door to this other closet. This is the back of it. Has some shelves that are still stuck to the structure, and you can see that that's the bottom of the closet, and that was built out also over the steps and provided a minimal headroom. It was pretty dark and crowded and claustrophobic. So anyway, what I've been doing for the last couple of afternoons, I've been removing the old crumbling, damaged ceilings and ceiling board, and just behind the ceiling board there were 1x4 boards attached to these 2x4 ceiling joists. And so we are going to leave the ceiling open. We're going to paint all of this white, and eventually, this wall's going to come out, and this will be one big room. And this over here, the upper parts of the partition walls are going to come down, and the lower parts are going to be used for a little half wall railing. And I've indicated that by what I've left in place for now. But eventually all this plasterboard is going to come out, and basically this is going to be filled in with a little bit more structural timbers, and then it's going to be finished off with a series of horizontal boards over here, and over here. And let's see. I'm making some progress. I still have to take this out here. Like I said, this part's going to come down, and eventually it's just going to be, it's just going to be the rafters and the beams of the ceiling, and it'll all be painted white. And at some point, the floor of this old closet's going to come out, and I'll use that for something. And boy, these shelves would not come off of this structure. So I'm just going to take a pry bar and a hammer. I'm just going to pull that structure out and unattach it from the exterior wall. So there we are. Okay, today is Sunday, April 13th, 2014, and I'm coming back into the fire hall room, or that is the room at the top of the stairs. And I'm doing more work on this. Yesterday I sawed this post, went all the way up as high as these other posts to form a walled-in enclosure over the stairwell. And what Ed and I are doing is we are opening up the stairwell, and we are using the bottom half of the old wall units to build a half-wall railing to surround the stairwell, but not to enclose it. So what is still here, what's left behind, is evidence of the closets that we had to take out. We still have the floor of one of the old closets that has to be removed, taken out. I'll probably end up sawing this board here and prying this board out, and then slowly just removing material from around this and prying this thing out. It may not come out all in one piece. I may have to take it out in pieces. But let's see. Yesterday was Saturday, April 12th, and I removed the plasterboard from here. And like I said, I sawed down this post, and I sawed this post, and I put a piece of 2x4 on top to create the structure of what will be a half-wall railing. I'm going to finish this out by putting finish boards on top and on the outside of it. So let's see. So yeah, I removed that. Yesterday I also removed some of the connecting pieces at the tops of these 2x4 studs. There was what we call a sill, which is a horizontal piece. That was the ceiling sill up at the top, and it came around and connected over to this, and so I removed that, and there was another piece here. I removed that. Like I said, eventually these are all going to be cut down to half wall height, so that we have a railing wall that encloses but does not encloses, I should say, that surrounds but does not enclose the stairwell, because this is going to become an open stairwell. And let's see, basically the material I took out yesterday was I believe it was that piece. That was the ceiling sill up near the ceilings. There's other parts of it here. Basically, a lot of this material, and this is the lower half of the wall that I took out yesterday. A lot of this material has been piling up in this back upstairs enclosed porch for about the last week or so. Okay, now today, before I can continue this work over to here and to here, I have to trim down this big group of 2x4s that have all been connected together as a post. And I'm a little hesitant to just go cutting right into it, because it's connected to this plywood board, which is connected to these, and the plywood board goes down the steps. So I'm going to have to take my utility knives. I've got 3 utility knives over here. I just put in new blades, and I'm going to have to go down here and sort of cut away at the seam where the steps meet this plywood wallboard. And I'm going to do that to find out whether or not the wallboard goes down any further. Does it go down behind the steps, or has it been trimmed to fit around the steps? I suspect it's been trimmed to fit around the steps, because I've gone downstairs, and underneath the steps the plywood wallboard does not go down underneath. So we'll see whether it's tucked into a crack between the steps and the studs, or whether it's just been trimmed and caulked with caulking material, and we'll see if I can just cut it away. So anyway, that's what I'm up to today. Okay, here we are again on Sunday afternoon, April 13th, 2014. I've made some progress here. Let's see, earlier I took my utility knives with sharpened blades, and I cut basically a cut in the paint, because I was thinking that this board that came up to about there, I thought it was all one board, but it's not. It was 2 boards, and that was the edge of one of the boards. So I took, after I cut away some of the paint that was sort of bonding the steps and the wallboard, I started prying away the nails and the board with my hammer and my pry bar, and I noticed that it started to bend at this seam, and that made it really convenient. So I took one of my utility knives and I cut along the bend in the seam, and basically just lifted the top part out. So I'm going to leave this in place for a while. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with this today, because today I'm working on this part up here. So I'm just going to continue working on this, and we'll see how it goes.
Action.
Hi.
All right. Hi.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
What I'm doing today, I am working to transform the former enclosure walls that were built around the stairwell. I'm trimming down the studs, and what's left behind will become the half wall railing that will surround the stairwell but will not enclose it.
Right.
And I wanted you to get this on video because the way I've already done this one and I did this one and I put a 2x4 on top of it, and this will serve as the structure for the finish boards. I'm going to put some finish boards on this, and I'm going to reinforce the middle, make it a little more stable. But what I did was, I've drawn these lines out with a level, and they're all more or less level, or at least they look level. That's close enough.
Right.
And the way I have to do this, because we live in a house here without standard utilities, so we don't have electricity, but I do have a number of hand saws and hand tools. This is my better hand saw for this type of task. I am actually just going to saw this horizontally, which takes a long time. It's a little tedious, but within about a half an hour, this will be sawn through, and I'll be able to remove the upper part of this stud column.
Okay.
So the way we do that is, we just go in and you keep the blade. You sort of stand in a stable position, and you keep the blade as flat and as horizontal as you can. And the trick, once you get going, the trick is basically to slow down. To do it slowly. If you get into the mindset of doing it slowly instead of quickly, it actually goes faster.
Oh.
Okay, so I just wanted you to get that on video. Thank you. Okay, I've made some progress since the last video. This is the corner post around the stairwell surround, and I've been sawing through this stud column. It's made up of 4 2x4 studs. Basically what I do is I drew a line around the area I needed to cut, and I took my hand saw and I basically made initial cuts on all 4 sides, and I just kind of gradually kept coming in and coming in and coming in, and the 2x4 pieces that came off first was this one and then this one. And that's how we remove them. I wasn't going to basically just let the whole thing fall over like a tree in the woods. We basically are removing each stud as it comes loose. So, okay. Okay, and finally, here we are with the last remaining stud in the stud column. And I'll be using my handsaw, and we'll just be cutting through that. And that will just lift right off, and it will go into the corner with the other pieces. Okay. And there we are. And that, I'm going to grab my dust brush. That came off very, very nicely, very evenly. Put that back down. And as I was sawing it with one hand, I was able to just lift it up with the other hand and place it over in the corner. And so now, what I've got, I believe I have a piece of wood that I cut and trimmed this yesterday to fit here. And that should, let's see. Okay, I can line this up so that, I apologize for the camera work because I'm doing 2 things at once. Anyway, this pretty much, it was cut to fit this. This will be the top structure of the railing. I'll have finish boards that go on top of this, so this railing won't be quite so rough looking. What I have to do down here is I have to point with my foot because my pointing hand is holding this up. Here where my foot is pointing, I have to add another 2x4 stud to hold that up. So it'll be okay. I can't do this with there. Okay. So anyway, I'm making progress. Okay, the next part I'll be doing will be, I'm going to set that to the side. I went downstairs to my wood shop and I trimmed this to fit so that it would fit just inside here. And what I'll do is I'll take some of these nails These are nails that I've been pulling out of boards, and these are the ones that have remained straight, so I can reuse them. And I'm going to use these to attach this 2x4 to these other two, and this will be, you know, the corner post, and this third one will hold up the rail that attaches to this post over here. Okay, so I'm going to take care of that, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I got the railing tacked into place. I've got a nail here and a nail here. I got this thing tacked into place with nails, and this is a lot more solid now. And so my next step is to work on these over here. I have to make a cut at this line and at this line and at this line. And then I've got, in that closet, I have a long 2x4 board that will go across here, and it will complete this this half wall railing structure. Okay, we've made some progress. I cut these, and they slowly came down as these pieces over here. And so now I just have to grab my dusting brush and, you know, dust them off and clean this up a little. And I'm going to see how well that piece there fits. I measured it to fit this space, so we'll see if it fits. Okay, I've made some progress. I got the structure of the half wall railing up and functioning at a minimal level anyway. Yesterday, I measured and cut these three pieces to fit, and this one is just a little short. It's about 3/8 of an inch too short. And so what I'll probably do tomorrow is I'll probably take this out, and using another piece of wood, I'll just trim it the correct length, and this will all fit together very nicely. This is very solid now that everything's nailed in place. This is fairly solid up here, but it's kind of wobbly. It's kind of wobbly at the end. So I may have to reinforce this, or come up with some solution to make this a little more stable. But for now, this looks pretty good. It functions. It opens up the room a bit. It's less less junky in here, less claustrophobic. I mean, well, less junky is a relative term. but we're making some progress. So this is looking good for now. Okay, today is Monday, April 14th, 2014. Yesterday, I finished this, more or less. It needs a little bit of tweaking, a couple of adjustments over down here at this end, but for the most part, it's nice and solid. This is very nice here. This is the rough structure, and I still need to come up with some kind of finish to cover it with. I also need to remove this floor platform that's been built out over this. This was the floor of a closet, and that was the door of the closet. But today, I think I'm going to have to stop working on these parts here and focus a little more on cleaning up this mess that I've made back here. So this is the problem when you take on projects like this, is they create this. So I'm going to have to move the plasterboard downstairs. I've got a pile of it down there. We recycle the plasterboard. We crush it up with a shovel, and it becomes these sort of like white plaster rocks of gravel. And so we use that to fill in the low spots in the backyard. I'm going to have to move these boards downstairs, and down in the workshop I'm going to have to take out the nails and also trim them down for other purposes. I might use these 1x4 boards to finish to come up with some kind of finish for this rough half wall structure over here. And let's see, I have to pull the insulation off of this metal duct and put it over in a pile with the metal that we cash in at the Uptown Recycling Center. And so there's mostly cleaning and maintenance to do today. So well, I'm going to get started on that.